So, probably the biggest question that vegans get is, and altogether now, my vegan friends, you all know it by heart by now, where do you get your protein? And this has become a bit of a joke in vegan circles, but you know, I think it's a totally legitimate and understandable question. I think that basically it's one of those questions that if I wasn't vegan, I'd ask that question. If you're going to try veganism, you will probably need some information about this. So what I've done here is presented some examples of what I like to eat to get my protein and general nutrition. So here are some of the places where I think that you could start out. Vegan mock meats. They mock meats in general have a bit of a sketchy reputation, and I think that's for good reason. I, for one, in the interest of full disclosure and honesty, have tasted some really, really crappy mock meats that, quite frankly, should have been banned by the Geneva Convention. And yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I think that in general, with vegan imitations, there have been some very well-intentioned animal rights activists and vegans who have kind of pushed this idea that, oh, they taste exactly like the real thing. They're just like the real thing. You'll like them just as much. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, don't lie to them. Don't tell them that they taste exactly like the real thing. And I'm just like, no, they don't. And so yeah, they won't taste exactly like the real thing. I'm gonna shoot straight with you and just tell you that right off the bat. But that being said, I can personally recommend some of these products, these mock meat products. I particularly found that the Tofurkey brand is particularly good. The regular Tofurkey is fine, but particularly the Italian Tofurkey sausage that they make, like what I'm holding up here. I found that even many of my loved ones who are omnivores and meat eaters, committed meat eaters, really like this. So I can definitely recommend that. There's also, as a source of protein, this meatless ground that's made by Trader Joe's, which is a company we have out here. There are other companies who make things just like this. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. You serve it with maybe like a kind of a spaghetti sort of meal, and it'll do the job pretty well. Won't taste exactly like beef ground, but it's pretty good. And lastly, an old standby, soy milk. Old standby for the lactose intolerant. Uh, this is a particular brand called Eden Soy that I really like. Personally, even before I went vegan, I kind of preferred soy milk to regular milk because it's just a little bit sweeter, which I liked. But that's just me. There's also almond milk and rice milk, which some people tend to like as well. Of course, there's some of you who may feel like you want to go more no frills sort of thing, and maybe you're not into the mock meats stuff for whatever reason. Raw foods, maybe you're going like a raw food route. I'm not personally a raw foodist, but there are some people who are, and maybe some people want to do more of an organic thing. In that case, what I can recommend is uh, something like this, which is organic baked tofu or tempeh. Some people like tempeh as well, which they'll have a lot of protein for you. This has two servings, each serving being 16 grams of protein, which that's a pretty good amount of protein for you. And there's always going nuts, literally. I can recommend basically that if you have like 2 packs of almonds, I like to carry around a pack of almonds with me every once in a while. That can really help you get your protein intake, as well as cashews and peanuts, like what I got here. These can help you a lot, and particularly with cashews, I find that they're a really good source of zinc, which is a pretty important mineral or a pretty important thing to get into your body. Uh, and they can also help you with iron and calcium. Uh, so I mean, they're pretty standard. I mean, you can find these things at most grocery stores. You don't, well, the nuts anyway. You don't have to really go out of your way to a special health food store. With tofurkey and some of the other things, you may have to go to a health food store. But with cashews and peanuts and almonds, those are pretty easy to find. And lastly, granola. Now, if you're of my generation, granola is one of those things that has a bit of a reputation attached to it, a stigma. When I was growing up, the kind of people who would get attached to granola bought crystals and communed with their animal spirit guides. And we're like, whoa, I can totally feel the cosmic vibes of your aura. And I am definitely not one of those people. Yet, much to my surprise, I have found over the last 3 years that I have become a granola cruncher. And yeah, I'm a dirty hippie now. And maybe the stereotypes about granola are undeserved. Maybe they are deserved. I don't know. But what I have found is that granola is a pretty good source of protein. This particular uh, brand of cereal is Granny's Apple Granola cereal. And I found that I've really liked it. It has some walnuts in it for omega 3s and things like that. So, yeah, I found that I really have taken a shine to granola and even like bars like this, Cliff bars, which are pretty common. So anyway, that those are some examples of where I get my protein from. And if you're trying a vegan fast, maybe that'll help you out. And I hope the best. And good luck with your look for your search for protein.